folks. This is Mr. Thomas, your friendly neighborhood film instructor, and I'm here to talk to you about another way to retime footage from the Adobe Premiere Pro CC Classroom and the book 2017 release, textbook for the class. This next way to retime a clip is retiming a clip using the using the rate stretch tool. The rate stretch tool, and you'll see, if you remember, our toolbar is right here to the left of our timeline by default, and essentially my rate stretch tool is underneath my ripple tool. It's the third button down, so click and hold on it and choose rate stretch from the little pop-up menu. I know there's a pop-up menu with additional tools. If I see a little triangle, a little gray triangle in the lower right hand corner of the button. So essentially, this is what the rate stretch icon looks like, and it's blue, so that means it's all set to go. I'm all ready to use it. But let's talk about why you'd want to use the rate stretch tool. And it says, I'll read it straight out of the text. Sometimes you're going to have a clip that has perfect content. So I see the footage that I want, and it's exactly what I want and only what I want. But for some reason, I need it to fill in a gap in the sequence, okay? But it's a little too short to fill in the gap, and I need to stretch it out to make it longer, or it's a little too long to fill in the gap, and I need to make it shorter. The rate stretch tool is a great way to help you with this issue. Okay, you notice all these different types of retiming techniques. They all come in handy in different situations. This particular situation, we're going to see that there's some music that this trailer for this medieval sword and sorcerer trailer was cut to, and we want to time our cuts to the beat in the music. So that should kind of give you a hint that the rate stretch tool can be very useful when you're editing a music video. You could use it in regular clips as well. It doesn't have to be a music video, but music videos or anything that's timed out to a beat or something on the soundtrack, that's where you get the most mileage out of your rate stretch tool. Let's take a look at the clip. Let's look at the sequence before we make changes. There's my gap. I want to fill that with him kicking the door open that we just saw. Okay, here's my next shot. I'll slow dolly in. And the gap after that, I need that slow dolly in to last this entire gap. And the last one, he swings the sword or gets ready to swing the sword. I need that to last for the entire duration of this gap afterwards. So essentially, basically, this is a super easy tool. I'm going to click the rate stretch tool, and I'm going to click and drag over the video, the tail end of the video, and I'm going to drag it out for as long as I need it to be. Okay, I'm not going to let go of the mouse yet, because you're going to see there that plus 417. That means I'm adding 4 seconds and 17 frames to the duration of this clip by the amount that I've stretched it out. And the new duration, instead of the new duration, I'm sorry, is 714. Okay, so it was like right around 3 frames and change, right? And using the rate stretch tool, I'm going to stretch it out to 714. But watch what happens. Okay, so in order to get this clip, which was originally 221, in order to get that clip to last for 7 seconds and 14 frames, it has to play it back in slow motion. Okay, in order for it to get it to play that long. Okay, because I don't want to cut away from it until there. Okay, so the idea is that in order to make this clip last as long as I need it to, of course, I'm going to have to play it slower. All right, and that's a really easy analogy. It's almost like, hey, I'm really enjoying this bike ride, and I've got to stretch out this. If I've got to go in home at 6 p.m., but if I pedal at my regular speed, I can be done by 3 p.m. So if I want to ride my bike as long as possible, what am I going to do? I'm going to slow down my speed of pedaling. Same thing here. I want this clip to last longer, so I'm going to slow it down. And you'll look in the parentheses here, and you'll see that 37.91%, that's the new rate at which that clip is going to move. So it's going to be 37.91% of its original speed. Okay, we do the same thing for these other clips. Very simple. Just drag them, and it'll speed it. It'll slow it down as slow as it needs to be to play all of the content, but have all the content play within that duration, in that gap. Okay, we do it for the last one as well. You know, most of the time, when people do this, they're not really thinking about. They're not thinking about exactly what the slowdown rate, whatever the speed is going, the new speed. They're not thinking about that. They're just thinking about, well, okay, you know, hey, I just need to cut from this shot to this shot right at about here at 7:14. I'll drag this out for as long as I need to, and it can play it as slow as it needs to in order for it to last long enough. So we did them all. Let's see what happens. Quick and easy, right? So that's the rate stretch tool. By the way, the keyboard shortcut for the rate stretch tool is the letter R. The keyboard shortcut for the rate stretch tool is the letter R. After you finish using the rate stretch tool, never forget to change back to your selection tool so you don't like accidentally click and drag something and make it longer, or, you know, rate stretch it when you really didn't. Okay? So that's it for this episode. It was a short one on the rate stretch tool. That is it for episode 7. I'll see you in episode 8, where we complete the our coverage of retiming clips with time remapping.